Okay, so I've been spending a little bit of time with the gun, and I've been really impressed by just some of the basic tests I've been doing to it. So now I'm going to move on to the step of cutting out the slot for allowing us to put BBs just directly into the chamber instead of having to put them in the end of the barrel, put it back in, put it in the end of the barrel, put it back in, and shoot it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'll just show you some basic steps. I'll do them and then I'll start to make another video segment. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this marker and I'm going to mark with just a line about where I'm going to want those BBs to be dropped in. And with this setup, what I'm going to have to do is once I mark this spot, I think I'll have to take the barrel out, put it back in, just to make sure that when I put that barrel back in, it's always going to land on the same spot and that the hole isn't going to get messed up. But once I'm done with that, I'll take the barrel, and what I would recommend doing is taking like a very sharp knife like this and just slowly going back and forth, not trying to go get a drill and drill it out, because what that's going to do is on the inside it's going to almost create a lip where your BB can actually get stuck and it won't even go through. So I'd recommend making a small kind of cutout with a sharp knife instead of drilling it out. So I'll do that and then I'll get another video going. Alright, so I've done a little bit of work on it, and so far what I've done is I cut out the hole. See, like I said, it's very clean. You have to keep it clean like that. A very clean cut around the hole, otherwise your BB will have trouble once it actually gets in there. But see, mine actually came out pretty good because it sits on the surface, and then with just a little bit of a push, you can hear it almost click. It clicks in. And then you can put your finger over it and actually it's a little bit stiff. So like I said, that's what I mean about keeping that hole clean, because as you can see right there, that nail kind of has to push it through to get it to but then at that point it just rolls right out. So it is a little rough, but I bet with just some shooting it'll smooth out really well. But like I said, with this version in the last video, it's just the first model. I've been working on it just a little bit, and so this would be the hand loading. You kind of put it in. That's the only trouble right there, is where you're gonna have an issue. You can kind of see it didn't load right, and I let go too early and it fell in the wrong spot. But you can actually just tip it, comes back out, put your finger back in, and see, I actually missed again. But you could even, now you might be wondering why you can't just put some kind of guard there. Well, the reason is because remember your paintball feeder that comes in like that has to be able to go through there, and if there's something to fill that area, then that doesn't work anymore. So there you go. With a little bit of trying, it does fit. And then once it's in there, it just takes a push and a click, and it's in. Boom, gun on fire, and it'll shoot. So I'm gonna do a test to see if it works, and then I'll get back to you. All right, so what I've done so far, it has been working quite well, but they are still having a little bit of trouble dropping in. I mean, they sit, and it's really bugging me because it only takes so little force to get it in, and then once it's in, it's fine. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take my handy dandy little Dremel tool, and I'm just going to hit these edges quick. See if I can get rid of some of the problem areas right now. Just right in there. See, right now, this is working much better. So as you can see, it took very little adjustment, but with something that fine, now they drop right in almost perfectly. So with a little bit more adjustment, I think it'll be almost ready to do, or just try to start on a converted version for a semi-automatic. So far, it's looking real good. You can see here that when the BB is dropped, they just fall. It just falls right in, and it's perfect. See, it doesn't stick up at all. It's all the way in there. And then the air would, from there, the air would just be able to push through. So we will see what that's like in the gun, and maybe start working on a semi-automatic. Alright, so I'm just going to do a quick fire test and just show you how well, even with this new system that I made, it'll still work very well, rather than just it'll work about the same as putting it in the barrel directly without having this piece taken out. So here's the first shot. See it open back up. I can easily just take a BB, put it in. Now, like I said, here's still the tricky part. Get loaded all the way. You shoot again. It's open back up. Take another BB. Drop it down in. And fire again. And now what I can do is I can expand from here. I can start working more on the semi-automatic with a hopper, and if I can actually get like a paintball size hopper, that would be a huge amount of ammunition. You could fill that with literally 5,000 rounds and just be able to plunk, 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 plunk multiple times. And also one thing is I have my gas setting for the paintballs. You know, you're using the paintballs and they're huge. You know, they're 1-inch diameter about, and they take a lot of gas to get going. You can turn down the gas setting almost all the way on this gun right now, and those BBs are still flying. So you can also save a ton on like on about a 20-ounce cylinder like this. You can use up really little to, you know, very, very little air or CO2. So far, progress-wise, it's been going great. And this is a good solid 2.5 inches of foam. And here's just an example. It's hard to see, but that little orange speck right now is about right there. It almost made it all the way through, and that's pretty far into foam. That's to there. That's huge. I would be surprised to see another airsoft gun be able to do that, to go that far into the foam. Now, you saw we're really close, but that still takes a crap ton of energy. This is not this is thick foam. I can barely squish it with my hands that far, and that's just a lot of, that would take a lot of force to drive that BB right there. So, and I don't even know where the other 3 went, but I think there's a chance they could have even gone through. You can see a spot right there where this one is, but honestly, I don't even see any other holes in this thing, so I'm not sure, but that's pretty crazy how much power it's got. So thanks for watching, and I'll be updating you with a semi-automatic version soon. Okay, to conclude this video, I did spend about 5 minutes taking around 10 shots, and the results are, again, a little bit scary, honestly, because if you look on this side and you actually like feel around, all you feel is a couple little dents like that. I mean, there's no big hole or even one the size of a BB, because even the ones that there are, like this one, you can't get a BB to stay in there, barely. So what it is, after shooting them, I took the foam out and I looked at it, and as I was flipping it over, I couldn't believe it. They made it, some of them made it almost all the way through. There's one right there, all that orange you see there, pocket of it there, and then here, there were some pretty substantial amount of penetration in this foam, and this is hard foam. I mean, you try to take something like, for example, even this sharp screw and push it through, it's taking a lot of force to do that. So that just shows you how much this, what I've been building here is actually working really well. And when I said it took me about 5 minutes to shoot off about 10 more shots, most of that time was spent setting up the target and then actually taking the shots, because I was literally able to load, the gun would obviously open back up after the shot, and I would just put my hand in, drop one in, and boom, it was that quick to take, even at this slow rate where you gotta feed it in manually, it's that quick. Opens up, you drop one in, boom. Opens up, you drop one in, boom. It's a pretty quick system, and it's got a lot of power. So if you are making this and you've been thinking about it and you're not sure if you want to because you don't know if it's going to be enough power, or if you're not going to be happy with the results, I can almost guarantee you will be happy with the results that you're going to get, whether it's just for actually going out with friends and using it, or if you want to just do it for fun, for a target sort of thing. Either way, you're going to find that this thing is going to be quite a substantial as an airsoft gun, and it's a great paintball gun. So that concludes this segment of the video. I'll probably be working on a lot more of the actual making it semi-automatic over vacation, but until then, this is GMU 250, over and out.